dev stream. Doing something different today, getting a little bit frustrated with I can't remember the name of the thing I just made. There you go. Getting a little bit frustrated with issues, so I have another project that I've been sort of itching to do. A front end for libav.js. Let's see. I am certainly going to need libav.js. Use the web codecs variant. Gonna need the bridge. Probably don't need the polyfill. And I want rollup. I want TypeScript plugin, CommonJS plugin, the Node Resolve plugin. Wow, look at me remembering all these annoyingly arbitrary names. And I need tslib for the TypeScript plugin. You know what? I'm not going to put the type in the init base because that's going to be in everything else. I'm going to just have, I need a libav here. So the basic idea is going to be you tell it what you want to read and just give it what you want to take as input, and it sort of figures out what layers it needs in order to do that. So let's see. A demuxer needs to provide the readable stream. Let's just call this stream of packets, as well as the array that tells us what the actual streams are. That's slightly annoying, but whatever. We're just going to ignore that. Okay, okay, let's see. So I want an actual input file let's see. So if we have a random access file, that is something that has a read that takes a position. Let's try and make it match this. Does on read appear somewhere else in the types? Just look at this. Right, of course. Yeah, I never had a... I named it on block read to make it clear that it's reading from a specific block, but I never ended up implementing anything else because nothing else is useful. Position and length. Iterator null. So it can be a file or a random access file, or just a stream file. Random access file needs a total length. These are things that the... Why am I not, like, documenting any of this? You know what? We're calling it size. Okay, so it can be just a blob. It doesn't have to be a file or a stream file or a read-only file. T.stream array. For the time being, no, that's not quite true. There's a couple other things they might need. Text bridge type from bridge. Does this actually expose as its name by default? Did I document the API in a different file? Oh, yeah, okay. There we go. I guess I documented it under the assumption that you would always import it and not just have a global name. It's not really even a reason for me to care about the global name. libav web codex bridge. Okay. Look at that. I even remembered the name correctly for the type. Brilliant. This is optional. Okay. Okay, so if you want to initialize a demuxer, then we need an input file. But the way I'm going to do this, I want to demand type be set to the exact string demuxer, and input will be an input file. Is that it? I guess so, yeah. For the time being, that'll just be init demuxer, because we're going to take this one step at a time. I was about to say, I should call this IF for interfaces. I wonder if there's any problem with naming one of your imports if. I would like to export all of the same types that I just imported. I guess input file and init? Oh, I forgot to export anything. I was like, I think I have more types than that. Yeah, I need to export like all these damn types. I so automatically wrote export type, but then if I just writing an interface, I totally didn't think to export those. Very silly. I don't think init base actually matters, but I also don't have any particular reason not to export it. That's more like it. Okay, because I ultimately want to export, I think, all of these. Yeah. So let's just one at a time. I quite often have like a main.ts that's just, here's the interface I actually want to have. It's an unfortunate fact that it's necessary, but it's just necessary. Demuxer. Init base. I guess init demuxer and init are the only ones left. Demuxer. Init demuxer. And init. Okay, we want to make sure that it exports the things that we actually have as public parts of the demuxer. The constructor and such are not those. Let me think. No, just the types, thank you. Thinking. Okay. Here we go. Just a reader should be sufficient. Thinking. I guess I'll go with this. Yes, that should be sufficient. If a little bit long-winded. Okay, so if my libav, which I haven't given the correct type yet, does not have tab file set, then that means I need to initialize that. File name, position, length. function and length. That's fine. Yes, good. Okay, everything's fine. Had a moment of mild panic, but I need to just check what kind of input this is. So what I want is if it's a blob, what can I check to distinguish? Because it's easy to distinguish the other two, but I need to distinguish if it's a blob before I try to separate the other two. I don't want to use instance of because I would prefer if you could hack something in. Blobs do always have a MIME type, but it's an empty string. I guess I could check whether it is a string. I might just go with array buffer, even though there was a time before blobs had array buffers, but, you know, if they don't, then I can't use it anyway. Let's see if it's actually recognized what's going on. Absolutely not. How about now? Didn't think so. The actual type system ought to figure this out, even if the editor hasn't. Okay, so if it's a blob, then this is actually a different situation. What I want to do is make read ahead file. Oh, I need a name. I need a file name. Do I have a way of checking whether a file exists? Yeah, I don't think I ever actually added that feature. But there is a quite simple way of doing this. Oh, it's a .ra file. There we go. .size. actually just use this directly, but I need to create it. Dot make block reader dev, name and size, file name f.size. I don't think there's any other circumstance where I would need file-like behavior. I'm slightly sort of concerned that I'm going to, well, forget something, in short. Ooh, I have made a mistake. Not a major mistake, but a mistake. This is asynchronous. As is this. As therefore is this. So let me give myself a little bit more room. I'm doing types first programming. Okay. Thinking. Something is off in my consideration of what's going on. Oh, of course, I know what's off. I know what's off. On read does not work that way. Or on block read, rather. Yeah, you use ff block reader dev send. Okay. I had a moment of stupids. Why is this? Like, it's silly that I'm thinking of this as such a concern, but I'm usually, like, I feel like this is too easy. There's something... This isn't supposed to be easy. I'm missing a step, but I don't remember what. Okay, I'm getting really annoyed with this.libav. Name, position, no. Just gonna take a quick look-see at some code that does this. Let's try to remember, like, it's always been so much more complicated when I've done this, and will I just in error? Like, what? Oh, wait. Okay. Wait. This is, I know exactly in which way I'm being an imbecile. Um, block reader devices and regular reader and stream reader devices aren't the same. That's where I'm being confused. Yes. Yeah. Because it does not use a callback system. That's the creeping stupids here. That was like just a bad design. Block reader uses on block read. I mean, yeah, obviously, if it's not a block reader, it's not going to use on block read, but my requiring this callback system was just bad design. Just bad design. Okay, so if it's a stream, then I have to feed it a wit. This is a a stream file. No, this is not private. This is the public API. Can I tell strict mode to just be less goddamn strict? Because I would like to not have to put anything here. I guess I can just do this. Okay, so now I need the actual stream of packets. That's what I want. This is asynchronous. No, wait. Read promise. FF read frame multi from you know what? This does not need to be a class variable because it happens entirely inside of init, weirdly. It's nothing to do with initialization, but that is where it happens, and correctly so. Ah, yes, I need a packet. AV packet alloc, there we go. Arbitrarily. Oh, I want to unify these. In case it's streaming. I should definitely make 65536 not be a magic number. I should restrict that somewhere. Magic number be gone! Okay, so we read some packets. This all needs to be in a loop just in case I didn't actually get anything. What type did I say a demuxer stream was going to actually give? Because I feel suddenly like the wrong type is the answer to that. Yeah, let's give multiple packets at a time. We really don't want to give just one packet and you just get this endless stream. We can give chunks of packets at a time. That's fine. Okay, if packets 0 and packet 0 dot length dot enqueue packet 0 if res equals av dot la dot av error eof, then we can close the controller. If it's not an expected error, then dot error of new error give me the string, please. And we'll break in that circumstance too. Otherwise, we only break if we actually add packets, and it's an infinite loop. Okay. That should be the demuxer done. Always start with an existing rollup configuration, because I sure as hell never remember. Oh dear. Oh, this is a terrible one. Wait. There's no way that's what it still looks like. I need to git pull. That is not more like it. Am I really not doing the TypeScript compilation in rollup? I usually do that nowadays, but there was a while when I didn't believe in it, and it seems that these are all from that time, so I'm going to have to do this correctly, which is going to be a bit of a pain in the ass. Let me just quickly check which of my projects actually do it the right way. I still want to use a template. File forage. Non-local forage, okay, yeah. There we go. Other than file names, this should be essentially done. It's obviously not non-local forage. This is trans-avormer. Never use context this if you don't know that you have to. I shouldn't need any special node resolve plugins as far as I'm aware. You know what? I don't need node resolve or common.js because I'm only importing the types. I have a fear that strict isn't going to work simply because of my imports not being strict, but we'll see. Whee. Okay. Not so lucky with its. Oh god, I hate this. Does that work in less? I don't think it does. What the hell? No. Oh, that's beautiful. That's completely just so much worse. Polyfill. Oh, I see. Yeah. Even though the bridge doesn't actually use the polyfill, it needs the types from the polyfill because they're not in TypeScript. Yeah, this sucks. Okay, so can't be strict. One of these days I'm going to have to go through and strictify those because that's just annoying. It's not getting these indirect dependencies because they're dev dependencies and only like TypeScript dev dependencies, so it's all a little bit weird. Okay. That really truly is a blob. This really truly is a read-ahead file. Oh. Generated empty chunks. Oh, because those only exported types, because I haven't actually exported the demuxer. Okay. Let me think here. What I want is a single, like, make it front end rather than using new demuxer or whatever. I just want you to give an init object in it to initialize the right thing. So I'm going to call that the factory, because that's what it is. You know what? I'm going to call that build, because factories build things. Okay. Internet, remind me how I overload functions in TypeScript. Okay, pretty easy. I don't know whether I'm going to need to export every time. I'm going to assume I don't. This is going to feel very weird, but it's totally correct. So if I create a demuxer, then this is going to output a demuxer. this is exported. You know what? You know what? You know what? This should be the role of the demuxer. Class itself, and I shall make it so. This is a static function. Init demuxer. Init dot. The return type of this is interface demuxer rather than specifically this demuxer class. It is a promise of that rather than just the interface because it needs to initialize. Dot v init dot input. That should be sufficient for now, and then I just await ret dot init and return ret. This is a static async. I'm naming it with an well, no, I'm not naming this with an underscore because this isn't going to be visible to users. But like this is named with an underscore. You know what? I can actually make this private. I was going to say this is named with an underscore but not private because other classes need to call it. But no other classes need to call it. Only this needs to call it. Okay. So now that's my actual export. That's the only thing it exports. Just builds. Build me a thing. Whee! Okay, so I do need to explicitly export for it to recognize the signature. That's exceedingly annoying. A promz isn't going to do me any good, but a prom-is should. Oh, of course. I can't both have this be an import name and a export name. Hoopla! We did it. Okay. Really? Really and truly? Why does this not trans have offmer? Cool. It's almost as if I gave this the most unmemorable possible name. Okay, next step after demuxing is decoding. Unfortunately, frames don't come with a stream number, so I'm going to have to keep the associated stream sort of elsewhere. It's not a huge deal. I've made two mistakes here. Copy out default is the only one that's allowed. It shouldn't be. Oh, I see. Oh, that's very annoying. So even though pointer does work, because this is two different declarations, it's not like glomming onto the right one correctly. Oh well. Okay, so I want to have the ability to copy it out yeah, as a pointer rather than a... You know what? Maybe I even want that to be the default. Thinking. Okay, I know how to do this. Okay, this doesn't attempt to do anything clever with the packets, it just sort of vomits them out, so that should be fine. But what I want is to have two types of demuxers. And similarly, I feel like there's got to be a cleverer way to do this, but actually, if there is, I certainly can't find it. Interesting. Yeah, it's going to have to pass through the streams. That's fine. Streams of streams of streams of streams of streams. I'm trying to think if I want an array of decoders or a decoder of arrays. And I think a decoder of arrays is the right way to go because I don't want you to be able to get them out of sync because you'd end up with a bunch of stuff just buffered waiting to be decoded. Whereas if it's a stream of arrays, or like, if all of the streams go through one decoder, and obviously there are multiple underlying decoders, but if they all go through one decoder object, then you can't get them out of sync. And I don't want it to be possible to get them out of sync, so good. Now, of course, you could provide the input yourself, but these are just interfaces, so it's perfectly possible to create your own implementation. You don't need to actually build a demuxer. You can just... wait, okay, but this is an init decoder, so you can either use an initializer to actually make one, or provide your own. Okay. A pointer the true type main now needs to export these million more interfaces I just made. Got to be... I'm actually unconvinced that there's a better way to do this. It feels like there should be, but I don't think there is. Okay. Now I've done everything for the hard part of actually making the decoder. Man, my face is having troubles. You know what? I'm just going to turn off my face for the moment. Tain't nobody watching anyway, and I'm over an hour, so I'm just going to start this. Improt. Not extends, implements. even though I'm doing the right thing, I don't think I'm going to have the right types. Let me do a quick make with all the changes I just made. Oh, now that works. Yeah, so this, okay. This is very interesting. What this implements is ifs.demuxer or ifs.demuxer pointer. So you know what? I'm not even going to attempt. Yes, I am. Am I allowed to write this? Why is it not... The fact that it's not highlighted correctly suggests that this is not an allowed thing to do. You know what? No, here's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to say that this implements the demuxer protocol, and then in build I will do the appropriate override. What a mess. This is what you do when I know the types are correct, but I know that the compiler doesn't know the types are correct. Because what? It wants... Oh my god, it's like a type inference problem here, that it doesn't recognize the fact that what it's sort of pulling through is exactly what I want it to pull through. The argument is either init demuxer or init demuxer pointer. But I now am exposing both. This is why everyone hates type systems. Yeah, I think this is genuinely exactly what I think it is, and if it is, then stupidly this is going to work. Behold, if this works, I'm going to throw a fit. Okay, this might have been the actual problem. This overload signature is not compatible with its implementation signature. But an IFS init is just the or of everything, right? Maybe what I do, maybe I have to explicitly say all the things it can return. God, that would be annoying. Oh, I hate this so much. It doesn't recognize the fact that in this case it's a non-pointer initializer. Well, that was the worst experience of my life. Here's what I'm gonna do. Screw all of this. And I'm just gonna say it's an init demuxer, and I know in my heart that it's actually going to do the right thing. Yes, okay. The third argument is now supposed to be right, whether to use a pointer or not. So if we're supposed to use a pointer, we're going to ask for a pointer, otherwise we're going to ask for defaults. Did I? I did. Well, that was hell. You know what? I'm going to consider that sufficient for now. I fought the type system to a draw. Sometimes fighting the type system to a draw is all you can get. Stream.